I'm Dorothy Kelso, Head of Super Return. Today I have with me Lynn Nguyen, Head of Investment Funds at the Overseas Private Investment Corporation. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank you, it's nice to be here.
What are some of OPIC's priorities for 2018 and for the near term?
Okay, so OPIC has always been, Africa has always been a priority region for OPIC. Our portfolio today is about a quarter exposed in Africa. A quarter of 23.2 billion, which is quite significant. From the investment funds perspective, our portfolio is about 25%, over 14 funds, and about 8 or 9 relationships. Priorities for this administration is infrastructure, right, and women. So we are looking at every project that we would like to support, and every fund manager that we would like to support through a women's lens. Not only women entrepreneurship, but also products and services that benefit women. At the moment, we're looking at several private equity fund managers that are either majority owned or controlled by women, or have significant women in senior positions in their ranks.
And in terms of countries, is there a particular emphasis in terms of countries?
Not particularly. We are demand driven, which basically means that we go where there is a dearth of capital. So one of our principal mandates is to catalyze private sector capital alongside us into areas and regions that we care about. So we've seen a lot of interest in sub-Saharan Africa, and we continue to see a pipeline of fund managers coming out of sub-Saharan Africa. Most of them are pan-regional plays. Very few are country-specific. We are looking at 1 or 2 country-specific funds, but the majority are sub-Saharan. Although we like to see more in North Africa, the majority are sub-Saharan, and most are pan-regional plays.
And you mentioned women and infrastructure as interest areas for you. Are there any other sectors or themes?
Yes, definitely. What we like to do is support not only infrastructure and looking at every project and every fund through a women's lens, but also water, sanitation, agriculture. We have supported 1 or 2 agriculture funds in sub-Saharan Africa. So really the mandate of OPIC is development and impact. We would like to support projects and funds, or to support financial intermediary funds projects that deploy capital into areas that are not getting sufficient capital. The other part of our mandate is to make a significant impact in everything that we do, and whether that's from a job creation perspective or lowering costs of access to telecommunication, to healthcare, to financial services, etc. I would say one more thing. Our newest initiative in the last couple of years is venture funds, and because we find that technology is going to be able to facilitate all the areas that we care about: women empowerment, lowering costs of telecommunication, access to healthcare, financial services, etc. And so we've been talking to venture funds not only out of Silicon Valley but globally. So Silicon Valley with the technology to be able to scale into emerging markets, in emerging markets scaling regionally. So yeah.
That sounds fascinating. And so what are some of the considerations that should be top of mind for any investor wanting to approach OPIC?
Well, as a U.S. development financial institution, we care about ESG. So every project and every fund we look at, we assess for ESG compliance. Not only that, but projects and funds that we support cannot harm the U.S. economy or cannot cause a loss of job in the U.S. economy. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the U.S. connection. Every project, every fund we support needs to have some sort of a U.S. component associated with it. And on our website, there are various ways that one can meet this. And then the third thing is to be commercially viable, because I think without a project or a fund being commercially viable, there's really very limited or no development being created.
Lynn, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.